Somebody's here. I heard something. I wish I could see.
In the heart of downtown Cleveland stands one of the oldest and most iconic structures built in the early 1900s, the Rockefeller Building. Tonight, I'm exploring this historic building, and although the Rockefeller was built in 1905, the history of this area dates all the way back to 1847 when the Weddell House was built. It was one of Cleveland's most prestigious hotels during the mid-19th century. The hotel had 200 rooms that served various purposes, such as offices, stores, parlors, and dining areas. The Weddell House quickly became a central hub in downtown Cleveland, known for its elegant accommodations and as a popular meeting place for travelers and prominent figures of the time. One of the most notable moments in the Weddell House's history occurred in 1861, when President Abraham Lincoln visited Cleveland during his inaugural journey to Washington, D.C. Lincoln delivered a speech from the balcony of the Weddell House to a large crowd gathered below, marking an important moment in the city's early political history. The speech he gave was so impactful, the room Lincoln slept in during his stay was preserved and was later dedicated to the president. As Cleveland grew through the latter half of the 19th century, the area surrounding the Weddell House began evolving to accommodate the increasing commercial activity, and in 1905, the hotel was demolished and replaced by the Rockefeller Building. The Rockefeller Building was commissioned by none other than John D. Rockefeller, who was one of the wealthiest individuals in history, being the founder of the Standard Oil Company. In its early years, the building housed offices for businesses tied to Rockefeller's interests, including railroads, oil, and finance. It quickly became a key part of Cleveland's growing business district. Through the mid-20th century, the Rockefeller Building remained a prime location for law firms, financial institutions, and professional offices. But by the 1970s and 80s, its prominence began to fade as newer, more modern office towers attracted many of its tenants. Like many aging structures in downtown Cleveland, it became underused and started to fade into obscurity. In the early 2000s, as Cleveland pushed to revitalize downtown, the Rockefeller Building saw renewed interest. Renovations were made to modernize the space while preserving its historic character, and in doing so, it stayed open and continued to operate primarily as office space. But in 2020, when the pandemic hit, everything changed. Lockdowns led to a massive loss of tenants, and by 2022, the building officially shut its doors. The Rockefeller has sat vacant ever since. There have been proposals for mixed-use redevelopment, but ultimately, I doubt that's going to be possible. Nearly 2 years ago when I explored this building, it was already in rough shape, but since then, the level of destruction has escalated significantly.
5 people breaking into Cleveland's historic Rockefeller Building on West 6th and Superior happened a little after 3 this morning. Video from our overnight news tracker shows some of the windows broken out of this 17-story building.
One of the biggest threats to the building's survival isn't just time or neglect, it's scrappers. While I explored here, I had a dangerous encounter with a group of scrappers who were armed and actively destroying the place. Anyway, here's what happened while I explored the Rockefeller Building.
The table's still wet. Somebody must have been here recently. Somebody in the comments, please tell me how old this computer is. It's gotta at least be from the 90s. Shit. I tore that up. Okay, so these were the law offices. They put this wall up after the fact. They built this banister here. There would be no reason for a banister to be against the wall like that. After they turned this building into a bunch of like offices, they walled off a lot of parts of it. Stefan Zaransky, attorney at law. It's not in too bad a shape. Christmas decorations. These places fall apart quick. Look at all these old books. All these old law books left behind. Somebody's scrapping elevator parts right there. I know exactly what bridge that is. It's like a Google Earth layout of the city. Yeah, I bet this place was abandoned when COVID hit. This is the main lobby. Wow. Wow. This place was built in 1905. It's crazy. It is. Go up again. Western House.
Oh, I never seen that light up before.
It's crazy how fast this place fell apart. I don't know how much I trust this elevator. This must have been for the elevator. It says Westinghouse. This must have been the kitchen. Someone must have just recently pissed on the ground right here. That's gross. Wow, those are all bullet holes. The coronavirus. I think this when this place shut down was during the pandemic.
people really in here shooting? It's a 9mm. That's crazy.
It's crazy that places like this with so much detail get destroyed and demolished. You would have thought they would preserve this building with all the work done to it. I mean, almost every wall in the hallways are made of marble. I mean, that had to be so expensive at one point. Other shell, or a bullet casing, I should say. That's crazy. There's people literally shooting in this building. That is crazy. The location of the bullet holes, the nature of the bullet holes, the distance of the weapon from the body of Mr. Boucherie, they didn't release any information at all. This must be from a court case or something. That's crazy. Bro, more bullet casings. Look at that. Look, another one in this bathroom. More right there, right there. That's crazy. Look at this painting. It's pretty nice. Somebody's definitely sleeping in here. You can smell it. It smells like people been sleeping in here. That's super sketchy. Yeah. Somebody's recently slept in that bed. Yeah, look at the chair. Somebody's been here. Like literally just recently. Cigarettes. Yeah. Yeah, even the chairs are like organized. Like people have been here rather recently. And it smells like cigarettes. This is pretty up here. That's so cool. The city at night looks amazing. Why would they leave this stuff behind? State Medical Board. I'm gonna leave that stuff alone. It's like a hallway full of vaults. What is this place? Wow, look at this one. It's like a prison cell. Is that newspaper stuffed in there? What the fuck is that? The fuck is that? Dude, that is crazy sounding. That's crazy. I'm gonna try to climb to the top of that. That's gonna be crazy.
They're constantly patrolling. Sucks.
Wow. It's amazing up here. August 2022. Yeah, I guess and that's when it was abandoned. Wow, this much damage in 2 years? That's crazy. Yeah, here's another calendar. 2022. Shoot, this one says December. That's insane. It's not even a full 2 years since it's been abandoned. Old telephone.
That's pretty cool.
Somebody's been up here recently. Smells like cigarettes in here.
Somebody's pills. They ripped the label off. Somebody was like using needles up here too, it looks like. Oh, that's horrible. That is nasty. Alright, let's close that.
It's crazy this place has only been abandoned for about 1.5 to 2 years. Look at that calendar. December 2022. This is crazy. You would have thought this place had been abandoned for like 10, 15 years.
Alright, so now the audio wants to fucking work. The elevators on this floor look different from the ones downstairs. These ones look older, actually. Look at this. That's pretty cool. It's the elevator shaft door, I believe. Or maybe the old one. You could see it was behind the marble wall. Somebody broke it. It's pretty cool. Supreme Court of the United States of America. How do you leave this behind? I wonder if this is official. Wow. That's insane, dude. These are like back rooms, cubicles. Yeah. Nothing to see here. Somebody's here. I heard something. United States Marine Corps. Oh, look at those elevators.
This area is really nice. This almost looks like a hotel.
Not sure what that says. It's partially torn. That says Bridgeview Bank. It's interesting. Oh shit, what is that noise? Sounds like an alarm. Fuck. Oh my god. There's tons of water damage over here. No joke. Look at that. God. Yo, what the hell is wrong with people? Look at all these books left behind. That's crazy. How? What the hell? How? How does this even happen? It's literally a brick perfectly thrown inside of there. That's crazy. It's really trippy looking. Seriously.
It almost looks like shadows sitting in those chairs. It's creepy.
William H. Smith and Associate. Oh shit. Somebody's here. Listen to that. I wonder if that was somebody. What the hell? This place is so big, anybody can be here. Also, I don't know what floor that noise came from. I'm gonna try to listen for it. I don't hear nothing. I mean, to be completely honest, I wouldn't be surprised if I run into somebody homeless here, living. support community service. Make sure I close these doors real quiet. I don't know, that noise was so loud. It may have been a group of people in here. What's this wet spot from? The ceiling is dry.
This looks like the back rooms.
At night, this place is honestly really creeping me out. It might just be because it's so dang big. What the hell? Somebody was up here. Chips, cigarettes, drinks.
At this point in the video, I need to explain a few things. I started hearing a lot of noise coming from the stairwell nearby on the 9th floor, multiple voices and what sounded like music playing from a cell phone. So I quickly pressed record on my camera and turned my light off just in case they were hostile. Unfortunately, the camera audio was cutting in and out during the entire exploration, and it failed to capture the sound during this part. While sitting quietly in the dark, I listened, and they sounded like they might be fellow urban explorers. So I turned my light on and went to the stairwell to see who they were. When I got to the door, I unintentionally scared a woman that was with the group, and she screamed and ran up the stairs yelling, "Help!" That's when one of the guys racked his gun and shouted, "Who's down there?" I replied that I was just taking pictures of the building. It quickly became clear they weren't explorers, they were scrappers, and they were also using drugs while stripping the place. They began yelling and threatening to shoot me if I didn't leave. I started arguing back at them, saying I have a gun too, and that they needed to relax. After a bit of tense back and forth, I told them I'm leaving soon and I won't bother them. I then left the stairwell and went down the hall to a different stairwell so I could get to the lower section of the building to get away from them. As I walked away, I could hear what sounded like at least 4 people yelling and cussing about me being there. One of them was even talking about me. This whole interaction made me pretty nervous, especially considering the number of bullet holes and shell casings I had already found scattered throughout the building. It was clear that these scrappers come here often, and were mad that I was in there, and it wouldn't surprise me if they fire off rounds to scare off explorers or anyone else who enters the building. Anyways, I just continued to explore the lower levels of the building, hoping they stay in the upper levels.
Oh shit, look. Behind this wall someone broke. There's a set of stairs. That's crazy. have to check what's down there.
Look, it's blocked off. This must have been like the entrance at one point. I wonder what's down there. Wow, look. It's another secret set of stairs. That's crazy. What? A giant safe. With this area being blocked off, I wonder how long this safe has been sealed. Wow. There's a bank upstairs. Maybe they used to use this vault.
Wow. And a building this historic, I wonder what's behind there. That's insane. Dangerous. Do not stand here. What's so dangerous about it? I think this place still has power. Or at least partial power. This place looks crazy. Completely flooded. All of that's flooded. That's crazy. Look, you can see where the lights are. That's how flooded this place is. That's crazy. I wish I could see